Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Mark Hall, and I'm the Business Development Manager for BlueSky Commerce. I will be your host today. Many of you may know BlueSky as an e-commerce implementation partner. What you may not know is that BlueSky has other offerings such as strategy, helping our clients with their e-commerce roadmaps and goals, experience, providing clients with SEO audits, UI UX audits, CX audits, and digital marketing, and talent, assisting our clients with their contract to hire, and direct hire staffing needs. BlueSky is evolving once again, and we are excited to announce our groundbreaking product in our Evolv Storefront. In today's webinar, we will talk about how we developed Evolv and how it can benefit your company today. Our guest today is a guy who knows most about this product, Baron Lamb, our head of product development. He will give us an overview of the Evolv Storefront. After that, we just may have some questions for you, Baron. So take it away.
Thank you, Mark. Let's just jump right into it. So first, what is Evolv? Evolv is our revolutionary, out-of-the-box, production-ready headless commerce storefront. It's built on React.js and Next.js, and really it's the significant leap forward, I think, on setting new standards on e-commerce technology, where we're trying to elevate the user experience and trying to set the new standard for e-commerce shopping experiences. So the story of Evolv. Over the last recent years, our customers and their customers, in turn, are demanding new things, both from a technology standpoint and a business standpoint. The shopping experiences, both in B2B and B2C worlds, are changing. And customer loyalty typically is dropping. Customers just want things fast and delivered as soon as possible, right? They want to make their shopping experiences easy. On the technology standpoint, the move towards mock architectures and composable commerce, it's setting new platform and technological challenges where retailers and B2B companies are trying to keep up with. So BlueSky sees this opportunity and the challenges that our customers face, and we're leveraging our 20 plus years of e-commerce consulting experiences and really putting that towards this new storefront product. And from that, as Mark said, we've evolved, right? And we want to make sure that customers and retailers like yourselves are evolving with us. Now our approach. What are the main issues, right, that we see over and over again? A lot of customers, they're not unique. Every customer we talk to faces the same challenges over and over again. The first one, really, they're stuck on one platform. They've on a legacy monolithic type solution. They're big and clunky. It's really costly to kind of move away. Aside from that, obviously just making changes on the platform, adding new integration, adding a new feature, function, whatever it may be, it's very difficult. And then since everything's integrated together, front end and back end changes are tightly coupled. You can't change one without breaking the other. All that leads to, right, extra effort, long lead times to create and change things and fix issues. And ultimately, a lot of times too, it results in a poor user experience from your shopper standpoint. Our Evolv solution, Evolv Storefront, is really looking to address all these common issues. So what makes us different? So again, the key really is production ready. We are looking to make e-commerce easy and something that you don't have to think about. We are implementing pretty much best practice out of the box. Historically, a lot of customers rush to get their website up on a new platform, whatever the case may be, and forget about all these little things like SEO, accessibility, and performance. Things like that always end up like a phase 2, phase 3, and again, it becomes costly. And in the case of SEO, Google's already penalized you. So it's hard to regain some of that when these things are typically afterthoughts. So we're targeting all those areas right out of the box, as well as we're really focusing our solution to ensure that all three stakeholders have clear advantages, all from the technology standpoint, the business teams, and the end shopper. So from the technology side, what are their benefits? What are they going to see with our Evolv Storefront? Well, first, Setup and implementation, we're talking weeks, not months, because we're very close to production ready. Changes can be made, customizations can be added on, and then you're off and running. If you have very little customizations, it's even a quicker timeline. The platform itself, or the storefront itself, is platform agnostic. It doesn't matter what e-commerce engine or platform you're running on. It doesn't matter what third-party services you're integrating with. We can integrate with anything and everything. Related to that, everything's customizable. We give you all the source code. Nothing is locked down or hidden. There's no proprietary pieces that we hide and you can't change. You own and you customize everything. Performance. So we've done a lot of performance tuning on the front end. So front end performance to ensure things are lightning fast. This helps with your SEO. This helps with customer experience. This helps with pretty much satisfaction for everybody. The single code base allows for the storefront to kind of function and look and feel pretty much the same across all devices and browsers. So it's one thing to manage. You don't have to manage and develop different desktop and mobile sites and tablet sites and native applications. It's one single code base, makes your development team happy. And a lot of common integrations, right? Right now, things like Google Tag Manager, GA4, reCAPTCHA, all that's in there, and we're going to continue to add more to kind of save you and your team from having to manually build these yourself. The business side, what are they getting out of this? Well, like I said, it's a production-ready storefront. So this lets you change your storefront entirely and be quicker to market, right? If you're lacking issues or you have issues now in your current storefront, migrating to this, it's a lot shorter timeline than other solutions out there. You're getting enhanced overall user experience. Our user experience experts have designed a lot of the components and widgets and user flows throughout the site to ensure that everything's optimized. Mention on the performance, right? Quick page speeds, quick load times, everything affects your shopper experience. Things that take pages and sites that are too slow, your customers are leaving for one of your competitors. Integration analytics, right? Pre-integrated, already starting to track your performance. You can easily set up goals and kind of track user behavior that way and increase engagement and drive conversions. SEO visibility, right? That was a big one to ensure that search engines like Google can index and find your sites, as well as support for rich snippet support, which allows additional specialized product data and catalog data to be indexed and represented on Google's and other search engine result pages. And really, it's flexibility, right? It's quickly adaptable as your customer demands change and your requirements change. You need a storefront that can adapt to the speed of business. And that's what we're really priding ourselves on here. Now for your end customers, the shoppers themselves, right? What advantages to them? Well, first, they can find you, right? So it's easy to find through our SEO optimizations. They get to your site. Once they're there, we need to keep them there. And we do that by the fast page response times with all our front-end optimization, as well as just keeping the UI UX easy, removing barriers to checkout, removing friction, get the users what they need and get them purchasing ultimately. And for those shoppers that need it, everything in the storefront is fully accessible. We're targeting WCAG level AA for everything we do. And you'll just kind of get that from day one. Okay, you ready to evolve? We'll get into some of the specific features and benefits of the storefront in a few categories. One around performance. I've touched on a lot of these already, but a few that I haven't, really to kind of give you an idea what's gone in there. First big one is really automatic image optimization. No more are the days that your creative team or web design team have to build different versions of the images, make sure they're optimized for the web to ensure there's no performance issues. There's no more recropping multiple versions of images for different uses. The storefront has all that image optimization built in. Just point it to the high-res version, and we'll optimize it for the specific use case or the specific device that the image is used on. Enhanced business user control, right? We're really focused on putting the power back into the business user's hands in terms of controlling content, controlling even links in the header and footer. A lot of these common things are historically have required IT or development help, which further delays potentially critical changes, adding content pages and adding user experience flows. Progressive web application, PWA. Our native support for that allows us to remove the need for you to manage a native app, potentially. A native app on iOS or Android is typically a very costly effort, right? Not only to initially develop and to maintain, to keep with parity with your website. And leveraging our storefront solution, we have the PWA built in, which covers pretty much anything you would need in terms of from a native app capability, which removes again the need to kind of keep that around. Multi-storefront support for those that have multiple stores, potentially regional based on the country or the different product lines and things like that. We support that again from a single code base. Run multiple stores with different themings, different look and feel, different content, different features, and all from a single code base. No more duplication of efforts from an IT standpoint, as well as from a performance content management standpoint. Okay. Some SEO features that we've integrated. Something as simple as robots.txt, right? Putting defaults in there so search engines know what pages to crawl and not crawl. This is overlooked on so many customer implementations we've done. It's just forgotten, right? So it's there. If you forget it, it doesn't. It's already working, all right? Things like canonical links and the metadata in page headers, right? Again, to ensure that search engines are finding and ranking your unique pages without duplicates is only going to help your SEO score. Other things around, I touched on Google Tag Manager integration, accessibility, as well as really storefront enhancements for around performance. Customization features, so more on the IT side to kind of make development a little easier. A full theming engine, so everything can be controlled by themes from a look and feel perspective. We're enabling the ability to maybe download or add in a custom theme, and themes just not only changes kind of the coloring and things like that, but it can change spacing and even what widgets like header and footer or anything else that can kind of come together. So the idea is potentially you don't have to keep rebuilding everything from scratch, right? You can leverage assets or themes that maybe other people have built that you want to emulate and kind of take that on, right? Saving you the development efforts. Storybook and theme integration here is really around unit testing. We have a full automated test suite of accessibility and UI unit tests. This allows you to customize and add features and change things and run these tests to ensure that you haven't broken anything from a regression standpoint, or it also ensures that you're keeping up with accessibility guidelines and standards. Some commonly requested features that we see over and over again that customers have to build, right? I touched on reCAPTCHA and PWA and multi-store, but consistency in UX controls. Developers end up doing their own thing, right? Over time, depending typically as a website evolves, new pages are introduced, new features are introduced, and there's no set standard in buttons and radio buttons and any other widget. So we're enforcing that, and it helps, as I mentioned before, with some of the storybook and UI unit tests, it really gives you a full style guide, in effect, generated out of the code, as well as an ability to kind of see all your widgets and components to ensure that you're not rebuilding something over and over again. Support of free and $0 items, right? Again, it seems simple. Most retailers won't be selling free items, but there's a lot of cases where there's samples or giveaways or test products and things like that a lot of other solutions just don't support, right? Seems trivial, but typically it's another customization. It's more work if you have that specific requirement. Okay, well, the demo storefront, I'm not going to show a full demo today, but here's a few screenshots of our sample homepage, both on desktop and mobile. Feel free to reach out to Mark or myself, and we can get a full detailed demo scheduled one-on-one with you.
Yeah, that would be great. And so can you share a bit more about how Evolv is production ready from the start and how they will save time, resources, money for the development teams?
Yeah, it's typically any reference store you get from an e-commerce platform vendor, it's not one that you can really go live with. It's really there for demo purposes, right? They're there for reference to kind of show you how to create a storefront, or it's to show off all the platform's back-end capabilities. It's not necessarily optimized for real-world use, right? You're not going to have a page with all the features turned on, right? It's just an example, just to show off a platform capability, right? So a production-ready store, and we take that approach. We take that approach and flip it on its head somewhat. It's, as the name is, it's ready to go, right? Idea is, as all the best practices and things I've talked about, all that's done for you. Things like the SEO and the performance optimizations and all these things typically aren't done in a reference store because they're really meant just to showcase features. So that's the difference, I think, we're really enforcing here, that it's ready to go. Add your customizations, add your features, add your integrations, and don't worry about things like SEO, accessibility, right? All that's kind of covered for you.
Okay. So you mentioned that the Evolv Storefront came out of the box with the ADA and accessibility best practices. Can you share a little bit why this is important to do from the start?
Yeah, this is important for two reasons. One, from an SEO perspective, right? To get Google and other search engines, they're using accessibility as a factor in their ranking systems when they index your site. Obviously, accessibility is good, and so they're looking for these accessibility type markups to ensure that it is accessible, right? And if you're not, you get penalized, right? So that's important from just an SEO perspective. The other bigger reason, obviously, is to enable your site for use for those users that need, right? Vision impaired, hearing impaired users, they need to be able to navigate and shop your site as well, right? It's even law, right? ADA legal standards, and not having an ADA or accessible site opens you as an organization up to potential lawsuits from people not being able to use your site, right? So doing it isn't hard, but it just has to be a mentality from the get-go. And again, that's why we think it's important, and we have everything we deliver is accessible, and we built the frameworks and the testing tools right there out of the box, just so that as customizations are built on, you can follow that mentality of creating accessible websites towards your new customizations as well.
Okay. So We need a solution that can support multiple storefronts, but don't want to make a huge platform investment. Can you explain how Evolv can help?
Yeah. So, in historically or very common use cases, when you run multiple stores, you end up having potentially multiple platforms, multiple code bases, and then, or even worse, like hard coding in your storefront or backend logic. If this store do this, else this store do this. That's a development nightmare. It doubles your cost of development. It just makes things harder to maintain, and almost untestable, right? All your maintenance costs and development costs blow up. So by supporting this specific use case from the storefront, again, single code base, one thing for your developers to learn, one technologies, and a concerted effort towards configuration over development. A lot of our features right now, even though it's there, are all feature toggled. They all have configurations to turn things on and off. So for cases where you have multiple stores but want to do different things, like one may have wish lists and one may not. One may do store locator and one may not. You don't have to code any of that anymore and put that logic in. You can configure what features for each specific site you want, and all the code and all the user experience kind of adapts as needed.
So I picked up on the benefits of having a PWA solution versus an app through Evolv's capabilities, but can you explain a little about the benefits of doing so?
Yeah, I touched on this a little bit earlier. Really, a PWA, for those who don't know what that may be, it allows a downloadable version of the website onto your phone or tablet device. It'll appear as almost like a native app. It has its own little shortcut on the home screen that you can click on, just like any other application you have your phone on tablet. But behind the scenes, it's just loading the website. So otherwise, all intents and purposes, it looks and feels like a native app. So by doing that, for those customers that may potentially have a native app today, they're incurring development costs for both Android and iOS probably. Those are typically different, and then there's a lot of ongoing maintenance for content for business users to ensure content is kind of synced between all the app versions and the web. So this leveraging PWA hopefully eliminates all that, right? Again, it's single code base, makes things easy. Like I said earlier, single team, single technology, and ensures consistency, right? So it's really a big cost savings. There's also other scenarios where, depending on the industry you're in, when you have a native app, you have to abide by Google's and Apple's App Store policies, right? There are things that you can't do. There are additional commissions potentially if you're selling things through an app. There's things you cannot sell possibly. Using the PWA model avoids all that and gives you really the freedom and flexibility to do basically whatever you want. Whatever you do on the web today, you can continue to do through a native tablet and device.
Hey, thanks for answering those questions, Baron. We are approaching the end of our time today. Some of you may be curious on how Evolv can fit into your specific environment. If you do have any questions or would like to schedule a demo, please reach out to me at Mark, that's Mark with a C, .hall@blueskycommerce.io. I can then arrange some time with myself and Baron. I'm going to open it up for questions now, so if you have a question, raise your hand or put it in the chat.